What if Genghis Khan never died? Mind-bending alternate history that will change how you see the world. In our timeline, the life of Genghis Khan, founder and first great Khan of the Mongol Empire, was cut short in 1227. However, let's imagine a divergent history where the Khan did not fall but lived for several more decades, his reign continuing to mold and dominate the world. A Mongol world. Under Genghis Khan's extended rule, the Mongol Empire, already the largest contiguous empire in history, would not fragment as it did in our timeline. The Khan's exceptional military strategies and profound diplomatic skills would keep the empire united, resulting in a prolonged and intensified Mongol rule over Eurasia. The Mongol Empire would continue its westward expansion, engulfing more of Europe. The Mongol horsemen, under the Khan's command, would sweep through the continent, conquering nations with their advanced military tactics and sheer force. Nations like Poland, Hungary, and even parts of the Holy Roman Empire would fall under the Mongol rule. Simultaneously, the empire would also expand eastward, overcoming the resistance of Korea and launching successful invasions of Japan. The Mongol navy, bolstered by their Chinese and Korean vassals, would be a formidable force that the Japanese samurai would struggle to repel. The melting pot of cultures. The Mongol Empire, in this alternate timeline, would control key trade routes from the Mediterranean Sea to the Pacific Ocean, including the entirety of the Silk Road. This dominance over trade routes would bring unimaginable wealth into the empire, fueling its further expansion and consolidation. The empire would become a significant melting pot of cultures and ideas. The Mongols, known for their tolerance of various religions and cultures, would encourage the exchange of ideas and practices across their vast empire. Technologies, knowledge, and cultural practices would spread more extensively and rapidly, fostering a unique blend of cultures in the heart of the Mongol Empire. The geopolitical landscape and the rise of new powers. The geopolitical landscape would shift dramatically in response to the continuous Mongol expansion. In the Middle East, the Ottoman Empire might not rise to power as it did in our timeline. Instead, the Ilkhanate, a Mongol Khanate established in Persia, would grow into a powerful and enduring state, influencing the region's culture and politics for centuries to come. In Europe, nations such as France and England might remain relatively minor powers, their growth stunted by the Mongol domination. The Golden Horde, a Mongol Khanate in Eastern Europe, would exert significant influence over the region, delaying the rise of Muscovy and altering the course of Russian history. The fate of Asia would also be significantly different. China, a core region of the Mongol Empire, would not see the rise of the Ming dynasty. Instead, the Yuan dynasty, established by the Mongols, would continue to rule, accelerating the integration of northern and southern China. Japan, having faced a more coordinated and relentless Mongol invasion, might fall under foreign rule for the first time in its history. Shifting alliances. The alliances in this alternate timeline would be driven by the need to resist or accommodate the Mongol superpower. In Europe, nations might band together, forming early versions of coalitions or even unions to fend off Mongol invasions. These alliances, born out of necessity, might lay the groundwork for a more integrated Europe in the future. In the Middle East, Persian and Arab states might find common ground in their struggle against the Mongol rule. This shared struggle could foster a stronger sense of unity among them, leading to a more unified Islamic world that could resist the Mongol domination more effectively. Key events in this alternate timeline. Several key events would significantly shape this alternate timeline. First, the Great Siege of Vienna, 1245. This event would be a key turning point in the Mongol invasion of Europe. The Mongols, under an aging but still formidable Genghis Khan, would conquer Vienna, marking their successful invasion of Central Europe. The fall of Vienna would send shockwaves through the rest of Europe, instigating a pan-European resistance against the Mongols. Second, the Conquest of Japan, 1256. The Mongols, using superior naval technology from their Chinese and Korean vassals, would succeed in invading Japan. The fall of Japan would mark a significant expansion of the Mongol influence in East Asia and a significant shift in the power dynamics of the region. Third, the Great Alliance of Europe, 1260. In response to the Mongol threat, European states would form a grand alliance. This coalition, while not preventing the Mongol advance, would lay the groundwork for future cooperation among European nations and the concept of a united Europe. Fourth, the fall of the Abbasid Caliphate, 1271. The Mongols would conquer the Abbasid Caliphate in Baghdad. The fall of the Caliphate would fracture the political unity of the Islamic world, but set the fall of the Abbasid Caliphate, 1271. The Mongols would conquer the Abbasid Caliphate in Baghdad. The fall of the Caliphate would fracture the political unity of the Islamic world, but set the stage for a more robust resistance against the Mongol rule. This event would lead to significant changes in the Islamic world, with the center of power shifting from Baghdad to Cairo and a more unified Islamic identity forming in response to the Mongol threat. The Ilianot's conversion to Islam, 1275. In our timeline, the Ilianot converted to Islam in 1295, but in this alternate timeline, the conversion would happen 20 years earlier. This shift would be a strategic move to gain the support of their Persian and Arab subjects. It would also create a significant rift within the Mongol Empire, setting the stage for potential conflicts between the Islamic Ilkhanate and the predominantly Tengri and Buddhist Mongols. The formation of the European Coalition, 1285. In response to the Mongol threat, the European states would form a coalition, laying the groundwork for a more integrated Europe. Struggling under Mongol domination, these nations would realize the need for a united front. This coalition would not be able to halt the Mongol advance, but it would foster cooperation between European states and plant the seeds for future political structures like the European Union. The death of Genghis Khan, 1300. Even in this alternate timeline, Genghis Khan would not live forever. His death in 1300, at the age of nearly 180, would be a significant turning point. Without his leadership, cracks would begin to show in the Mongol Empire. His successors would struggle to maintain the unity of the empire, leading to a gradual fragmentation. However, the impact of Genghis Khan's extended reign would continue to be felt for centuries to come. In this alternate history, the Mongol Empire under the prolonged rule of Genghis Khan would have a profound and lasting impact on the world. The empire's unparalleled size and cultural diversity would accelerate cultural exchange and technological advancements. The geopolitical landscape would shift drastically, with new powers rising and falling, and alliances constantly evolving in response to the Mongol superpower. This monumental change would undoubtedly reshape the era and the course of history that followed.